Alright folks, today we're going to delve into the slowly unfolding mystery of Devil Fruit Awakenings. The topic's been in the spotlight as we near the tail end of the story, hasn't it? Now think about it, which devil fruit would you want to chow down on and awaken? Keep that in mind, cause I'm going to ask you again at the end. Just a heads up, the awakened users we'll be chatting about today are strictly those we've met in the main storyline. Got it? Good. Let's start with a rundown of what exactly Awakening is and what we know about its prerequisites so far. Remember when it was first mentioned? That was during the Impel Down arc, episode 544, when Crocodile explained the awakened zones, remember? These guard beasts were awakened zone types, known for their freakish toughness and healing powers. Initially, most of us were like, okay, interesting, but didn't really get what it was about. Did we? Given the brief mention, it was easy to think that Awakening was just something that happened to these beasts, and many might have forgotten about it after the Impel Down arc. However, during Dressrosa episode 785, Doflamingo brought up Awakenings again. Turns out there's a higher realm to devil fruit powers known as Awakening, where the user can influence things beyond themselves. That revelation sent chills down my spine. Felt like a forgotten plot point was picked up again. Doflamingo, with his awakened abilities, was turning the ground and buildings into strings for attacks. Almost felt like a Logia-type ability. Even Luffy was surprised, saying it's almost like it's not a Paramecia type. Fast forward to the Wano Country arc, episode 1046, and it's Kaido who reveals that Awakening occurs when the body and mind catch up with the ability. What a relief to finally get a solid piece of information. And in the ongoing Egghead arc, Vegapunk Prime tells us that Zoan-type awakenings often involve the user's personality being absorbed. Is this absorption thing exclusive to Zoan types, you wonder? According to the Five Elders, Zoan-type fruits are unique as they harbor a will of their own. Summarizing about Awakening, it's rare for abilities to awaken, and they do so when the mind and body can handle the power. The awakening of Zoan-type abilities are characterized by extraordinary toughness and recovery, and there's a high probability of the personality being absorbed upon awakening. The Jailer Beast is a clear example of a personality being absorbed, isn't it? On the other hand, the awakening of Paramecia types affects not only themselves, but also other things around them. By the way, do Logia types not awaken? The truth is, it's still not clear about the awakening of Logia types, and we don't even know if the concept of awakening exists for them. Logia types have abilities to control natural elements and weather, as their name suggests, so they're already affecting their surroundings. But even among these Logia types, it's said that there are characters who have already awakened. I'll introduce them in detail later. Can't wait to know? Let's move on then. First, let's introduce the awakened Paramecia type users. The first one is Doflamingo. Here comes the charismatic villain. Doflamingo is the user of the string fruit and can freely manipulate strings that emanate from his body. What did you think when you first heard Doflamingo's power was the string fruit? Honestly, it didn't sound strong to me. I was like, seriously, string. But he was one of the 7 warlords of the sea, so he was really powerful. By combining thin strings together to increase their strength, he can destroy buildings and even pierce through bodies. He even tore off Law's arm. Moreover, by attaching strings to the clouds, he can move in the air and spread strings around like a spider web to block attacks. I didn't understand how flying in the sky and the string fruit's ability were connected, but it turns out he was attaching strings to the clouds. His strings are strong enough to slash a meteor dropped by Fujitora, so it's quite effective for defense as well. What's more, even if his internal organs are damaged, he can use the strings to stitch them up for temporary first aid. He's very versatile with his ability. What kind of attack can he do when he awakens? As I mentioned earlier, he can transform objects like buildings in the ground into strings and attack with a massive amount of them. Furthermore, he can tie up multiple people and manipulate them freely. He lost to Luffy, but his strength after awakening his ability was the real deal. It's like he's shown us a whole new stage of power. Next is Katakuri. Being now 2 of the Big Mom pirates, Katakuri is a mochi human from the mochi fruit, and he could recreate almost all of Rubber Human Luffy's moves. When I heard it was mochi, I thought the same as with Doflamingo. It doesn't sound that strong, but boy was I wrong. His strength is unbelievable with a bounty over 1 billion. Despite his mochi being a unique ability, Katakuri can also use Haki. Moreover, he has trained his observation Haki so much that he can see a few seconds into the future. That ability was a pain, but thanks to that, Luffy was also able to learn how to predict the future using observation Haki. And since I can also predict the future, I know what Marissa will say next. The next thing you'll talk about is Katakuri's awakening, right? Given the flow of the conversation, that would make sense, but let's say that Rimu's prediction was correct and introduce Katakuri's awakening. Just like Doflamingo, Katakuri's awakening also affects his surroundings. So he can freely manipulate the ground and buildings as if they were soft like mochi. He can use this transformed mochi to immobilize his opponents, or throw it at them to suffocate them. Luffy was able to escape by eating it all though. That's just because Luffy's appetite is too abnormal. Furthermore, by imbuing his awakened mochi with armament Haki, he could launch powerful attacks from various angles. Katakuri also lost to Luffy in their deadly fight, but his strength that met the awakening conditions of mind and body catching up to the ability was convincing. Next up is the captain of the Heart Pirates, Law. He's become so close with the Straw Hat crew that he feels almost like a part of the team. Lu is a wielder of the Opop no Mi fruit, a versatile human who can generate a unique circle called Room and modify anything or anyone within it. The room is like an operating room with Lu acting as the surgeon. Everything inside the room can be imagined as patients on the operating table. Doesn't that make it easier to understand? Within the room, he can lift even warships with ease, and if he wished, he could even engulf an entire island. It seems like a cheat ability, but aren't there any risks? Like other abilities, the more he uses his power, the more stamina he exhausts. In the Dressrosa arc, it was revealed that he could shorten his life if he overused his ability, as he kept a wide-ranging room active without Doflamingo noticing, so there are certain risks involved. Moreover, as Law mentioned in the Wano Country arc, some attacks don't work if there's an overwhelming difference in Haki with people like Kaido or Big Mom. No matter how powerful an ability, there are always associated risks. His normal techniques are special, so are his awakened techniques special as well. While not explained explicitly, he has techniques like Kroom, which coats weapons and objects with his power and gives them the properties of room. And then there's Room, which allows Law to generate the properties of room from the opponent, enabling him to attack even if he's outside of the room. These awakened abilities have allowed him to perform many techniques, among them the shockwave attack that assaults the inside of the body, which dealt significant damage to Big Mom. Dealing damage to Big Mom, known as the Iron Balloon, is quite impressive. Moreover, there's his tribute to his benefactor Karazen's Nagi Nagi no Mi, a technique to erase all sounds you emit called Calm, which really moved us. That scene gave me goosebumps. While the awakened techniques seem to exhaust a lot of Haki, watching Law's techniques is really enjoyable. Fourth is the captain of the Kid Pirates, Kid. Kid is a magnet human with the power of the Jiki Jiki no Mi. His combat style involves generating magnetism centered on himself and attracting surrounding metal or iron for attack. Although he lost an arm in a battle with the Red Hair Pirates, he uses his power to gather metal or iron and attaches it as a prosthetic arm. In the Wano Country arc, he's fully utilizing his ability to create a weapon, like an armor called the Magnetic Devil, for battle. That scene reminded me of General Frankie and got me excited. What were Kid's awakened techniques? In the Wano Country arc, he was using his awakened technique against Big Mom, where he could apply magnetism to surrounding objects and people. Metal or iron would fly towards Big Mom, who was magnetized, and strongly adhere due to the powerful magnetism that she couldn't remove. However, his trump card, the electromagnetic cannon, was incredibly powerful and managed to push Big Mom's enormous body deep into the ground. That scene had me on the edge of my seat. I love all of Kid's technique names, they're all so cool. They match Kid's fiery personality perfectly. Moving on, let's introduce some awakened Zoan users. The first, or rather the first team, are the Jailer Beasts. I wonder what abilities the jailers protecting Impel Down have. The truth is, the name of their devil fruits isn't known. All we know is that they're Zoan. Speaking of which, at first, they looked so much like animals that I didn't think they were human. However, the animals they're modeled after are confirmed. They're each a Holstein Minotaurus, a Minico Ala, a Minnow Zebra, a Minor Rhinoceros, and a Minnow Chihuahua. Everyone is awakened, which is why they have such strong recovery abilities and display agile moves. Thanks to their awakening, their combat abilities are significantly strong. But all of them having runny noses makes them look a bit goofy, doesn't it? The awakened animals like jailer beasts who have incorporated human personalities. I wonder if this was a foreshadowing. Next up is Rob Lucci from CP0. He's a leopard model of the cat fruit. Chopper mentioned in the Water 7 arc when he saw Lucci that carnivorous Soen users become more aggressive. The combination of his natural combat senses and the ferociousness of a carnivore gave even Luffy a hard time, didn't it? Turns out Lucci has awakened in chapter 1069. Unlike the jailer beasts, he isn't incorporating a human personality. He's fully conscious in his awakened form. No matter how many times you watch that scene, it's just so cool. That black feathery cloak is quite striking too, with such speed and attack power that even the sturdy defense of Hadamari can't keep up. It seems like his abilities have been significantly strengthened, but Luffy did give him a pretty good beat down. Makes you wonder how strong he really is, huh? He was struggling a bit against Luffy, but he declared that he wouldn't acknowledge Luffy as one of the 4 emperors, so he might still have some fight left in him. The third one is Kaku, also from CP0. Kaku is a giraffe model of the Oxox fruit. In the Enies Lobby arc, he ate a devil fruit before the fight with the Straw Hat crew without knowing what power it held. As a result, he struggled with controlling the devil fruit initially. However, during the fight, he learned to master the abilities, using the reach of the giraffe to his advantage. His pasta machine is so cute. In the latest chapter 1072, we see Kaku donning the same black feathery cloak as Lucci. While it isn't explicitly introduced as an awakened form, given that Zoro mentioned Kaku looks slightly different, it's safe to assume he's awakened. It's amazing that Kaku has managed to awaken only about 2 years after eating the devil fruit. Something must have happened in these 2 years that allowed him to catch up to his abilities. Is this the power of CP, I wonder? The fourth one is the Straw Hat Pirates Captain Luffy. We've known from episode 1 that he's a rubber man, a Paramisha user of the Gum fruit. But during the Wano Country arc, it was revealed that he is actually a mythical Zoan type of the human fruit, model Buddha. This twist was so shocking that I couldn't help but scream. The awakened Luffy gained more strength and flexibility in his rubber body thanks to his fight to the death with Kaido. He withstood Kaido's attacks with the toughness characteristic of Zoan awakenings. And he demonstrated the impact to his surroundings characteristic of Paramisha awakenings by changing objects around him into rubber and using them to attack. Even during the fight with Lucci at Egghead, pipes were becoming like rubber. He's so free he even made goggles. Luffy declared he can do whatever he wants, referring to his awakened state as Gear 5th. The way he fights freely, even in the tense battle with Kaido, it's a style that makes you, the viewer, enjoy the battle, the perfect ability for Luffy. Indeed, it's the world's most playful power. He's given new names to the moves he's been using, and I can't wait to see what fun techniques will come out in future fights. Next, let's discuss the awakened users of the natural type. It's still unconfirmed if the concept of awakening applies to the natural type, but there are characters who might already be awakened, right? To cut to the chase, the potential awakened users are Sakazuki, the user of the magma fruit, and Kuzan, the user of the ice fruit. Needless to say, these two are incredibly strong. The reason why we believe they might be awakened is the same as with the Paramisha type. Their abilities affect their surroundings. Remember the duel between Sakazuki and Kuzan for the position of Navy Admiral? It happened in Punk Hazard. After their duel, Punk Hazard underwent such drastic changes that the island's weather was completely altered. Colonel Smokey said it was a brawl that could change the weather. This significant impact on the surroundings suggests they might be awakened. By the way, it's speculated that Enel, who appeared in the Scipia arc, might also be awakened. Enel, the user of the Rumble fruit, had a scene where he surrounded himself with thunder and transformed into a massive figure during his battle with Luffy. Given Enel's control over his abilities, it wouldn't be surprising if he were awakened. I can't wait to find out the truth about the awakening of the natural type. Lastly, similar to the awakened users of the natural type, I'll introduce some other ability users speculated to be awakened. First up is Whitebeard, the user of the Tremor fruit. It looks like a natural type, but it's actually a Paramisha type ability. a unique power to create cracks in the air and trigger earthquakes. Furthermore, he influences his surroundings significantly, moving even the sea currents and causing tsunamis to earthquakes. Because of this, it suggested that he might have been awakened. It seems he fulfilled the awakening condition of the mind and body catching up to the ability. Second is Blackbeard. The power of the dark fruit that Blackbeard possesses is to join and release the surroundings into darkness and capture devil fruit users physically, right? What stands out is the vast range of darkness that engulfs the surroundings. Given that it swallowed everything within a wide area, the vastness of the range might be due to awakening. An entire town disappeared after all. I wouldn't be surprised if Blackbeard had awakened his ability. And finally, the third one is Kaido. Surely he seemed the most likely to be awakened, yet it wasn't addressed in the Wano Country arc, was it? I find it hard to believe that Kaido, boasting overwhelming strength and having mastered attacks imbued with the color of the Conquering King, isn't awakened. Even the jailer beasts are awakened. He knew about the conditions for awakening, so the chances are high that he's awakened. I'd love to hear about other characters you think might be awakened, so please leave a comment. It's fun to consider, maybe that character is awakened. Have you decided which devil fruit you'd want to awaken? If there's a devil fruit you'd like to awaken, let me know. This channel posts summaries, explanations, and ranking videos related to One Piece. If you like One Piece, we would be happy if you could support us by subscribing to our channel and commenting. Thank you for watching till the end. See you in the next video.